Yo, Pierre, you want to come out here?
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Opportunity Knocks podcast. My name is Mateo, and today I'm joined by Mr. Jacob Gall. He is hailing from Calgary, Alberta, but he's joined us here in Ontario this year to kick off his rookie season, selling with the Toronto South sales team. He's been one of these standout rookies this year, currently in the top 5, racing for that top spot there. Hopefully he's got some ambitions to be the rookie of the year. But yeah, without further ado, welcome to the pod, Jacob. How we doing?
Hey, man. Honored to be here. This is so crazy to me. I've never been on a podcast, so a little bit of jitters, but those push-ups.
Yeah.
Those push-ups had to crank them out a little bit.
Yeah, we got a little pump right before the podcast. I actually didn't participate in the push-ups, but yeah, everyone got the juices flowing. So now what we want to know about you here is we'll talk about kind of your story and how you got into door-to-door sales and the mission that you did before that as well. But just first and foremost, what have you been doing this summer that's been working for you? Have you gotten into this groove?
Man, it's been hard to actually get into a groove, but I think what's helped is just a piece of this is before the summer started, when I found out about the Golden Door and just what that was, I just started messaging all the top guys. Like I went on whatever the website is that has the list of last year's Golden Door guys, message all of them, ask them how they were so cracked, how they made it happen. Honestly, most of them just said self-belief. And so I think a big thing of if you're going to be slinging every single day, has just been to stay dialed, like mentally, physically, to have like a higher sense of self-worth so you can go out there with confidence every day.
Interesting, yeah. And would you say there were some things that they disagreed on? Because if lots of them said belief, confidence, and all that.
It was pretty standard across the board. I don't think there's a single one that didn't say self-belief was the most important thing. Mm-hmm. Another big thing was just proximity. So helps to be around guys that also want to go out there and get it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Proximity. Interesting. And who do you surround yourself with? So you have your team members, right? You have your managers, but has there been anyone you've specifically looked up to, or maybe they weren't even in your office, just sales trainers in general that you inspire or pull from?
Yeah, definitely. Like, first off, all those guys that I hit up, most every one of them, like these are all the Golden Door guys from the States. I messaged them and they were just spitting free games, so they'd have my respect for that. And then David Burton, obviously, pretty big advantage. He's actually the guy that recruited me. And I did a little bit of preseason when I actually slept on his couch for a few days. And he's definitely been a big help rolling into the rookie season here.
All right. Well, I do want to ask about what the first few doors were like in some of that preseason. But just before we get there, you talked about self-worth as one of the things that a lot of these Golden Door winners had in common when you asked for that advice. And I've heard that expressed in some different ways. In some ways, it's like my time is worth X amount of dollars per hour, and I'm not going to waste time doing non-productive things. Some people are just saying, I always have to be busy. Is there a way that this self-worth manifests itself when you're out there?
Well, yeah, you're not going to knock every single hour and milk every single second out of every day if you don't have the belief that you can just go out there and produce. Like, it just doesn't make sense if you don't believe that. Especially when you have a big, monumental goal. I think, like, you're gonna get clapped, like left and right. You're gonna be having hard days regardless of how good you are. I don't think if you believe that you can step over those and figure it out, that you're just not going to keep pushing.
Absolutely, yeah. All right, so let's go back in time, and I do want to hear about kind of your story, right? So even before preseason, right? So you did a mission, and that was here in Ontario, is that right?
Correct. It was here in Ontario.
And I'm sure that had its own set of highs and lows. And do you feel that you derive some mental toughness from going out there and doing that? So tell me about that.
Man, absolutely. I loved my mission so much for a variety of reasons. But just to touch on what you asked about mental toughness, there was, well, you're completely switching the way of how you're living. For anybody that doesn't know, like if I were to just put it in a summary, it's it's like unpaid service. You just leave your life behind for a couple years, and we're preaching the gospel wherever we're assigned to labor. We leave our family or whatever behind for a season, work or relationships, and it's just a lot of focus, a lot of grind. So mental toughness, yeah, for sure, man. That and work ethic. Basically, I had one goal, like every single day, day in, day out. And I've always been like this, even before the mission, with anything I've done. But if I don't give something my everything, I guilt trip like crazy because I know there's more inside me. Like when I was on my mission, it's kind of funny, but there's little things I did to dial myself mentally to be able to combat the rejection daily and to be able to just put it all out there, like little things like cold showers and just little habits. But it definitely impacted me a ton.
Yes, sir. Well, we often talk about how when you go out there and you do door-to-door sales, a lot of the other sales jobs you might have afterwards just seem so much easier by comparison, right? And I would imagine that, I guess there's two ways to look at it. First one is I'm not getting paid and I'm out here, doing this. But maybe there's some great things about it too, where you get to have this positivity inside of you of, I'm going out, I'm doing God's work and all that. Do you get a similar level of satisfaction out of selling pest control door to door, or how are those two things different?
Man, it's funny. No, I don't think I get the same level of satisfaction at all. I'm really deep in. I was very passionate about my mission as a missionary. Honestly, to me, still, there's nothing at all that matters more than just living the gospel of Jesus Christ. And my mission meant so much to me because it was the thing I cared the most about, and I left everything behind to do it. Mm-hmm. Even still today, like I'm super fulfilled by putting my all out there to doing the absolute best I can. And I think for me on my mission and in anything I've done, even out here, my absolute happiest moments, my most fulfilled moments have been when I know that there was nothing left in me. I just left it all out there.
Yeah.
At the absolute limit. You poured the last drop, So
I gave every ounce the best of myself.
Yeah.
And left it all out there.
And it is not to say it's not important to me. Obviously, I think right now, it's where my focus is because I know what it means for my future. Mm-hmm. And so absolutely, I'll give it every single thing that I got.
Yes, sir. Okay. So you did your mission, right? And then now it's April of this year. All right. And you're going out there, you're hitting your first doors. It's a little bit cooler out, right? Because we're early on in the year. And so tell us how those first few days go. And maybe there was some sort of, shock of things are different now. What were those like?
Yeah, man. And I'll backtrack even a little. Hope I don't ramble too much here, but I was working at a dealership for a few months before this. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I kind of always had door-to-door in the back of my mind because while I was on my mission, I knew a couple buddies who were doing it and doing pretty good. And in like the least prideful way possible, inside my head, I was like, I held myself at a pretty high standard. And I was like, I know I could just destroy on the doors out there.
Yeah.
I know I could just kill it. But so after the dealership, I actually detached for a second. For a month, I was just in the Dominican with a couple of my boys. One of them sold solar. Another one was super big in crypto.
Yeah.
And we were just kind of doing a getaway. But I was talking to David Burton, talking about, hey, man, I want to do some preseason or whatever. This is while I was in the Dominican. Mm-hmm. And this is when I found out about the Golden Door. I think he half jokingly said, like, hey, man, like, no one's ever done this in Canada.
Yeah.
Everybody's saying it's impossible. He's like, you want to Golden Door with me? And like, I was like, ha, 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 lol. Like, yeah. But then in the back of my head, it was cooking like for the next few days. And I was just like, that's when I started going crazy, looking at all the guys that did this. And I'm like, yo, if nobody's ever done this. Like, I want to do that. But
yeah.
So that's when the obsession started. I just started preseason, even before I got to the first doors. I was just reading the manual a bunch, read it like 5 times. I listened to every single podcast you can find out there by every Golden Door guy. It's crazy. Like just tripping nonstop in my ears. Yeah. I was like tripping like at 3 a.m. just like, I was pretty obsessed, but yeah, I got out there. So I slept on David's couch for a couple days. He did some role plays with me. And yeah, first doors, I was actually tripping. Like I wasn't expecting to be nervous, but I was still
Yeah.
a ton nervous, even though
Definitely some butterflies you get there.
yeah, man. And so I started in Cardston, Alberta. And yeah, I was tripping. I started out late, I think like 4 or 5 p.m. And I landed the first sale. It was already black outside.
Yeah.
I just kept grinding end of the day. So nervous, but I closed the deal.
And how'd that first sale go for you? Was it a lay down? You got lucky, or you think you really sales cycled them?
Well, I was pushing. I cycled them a few times. It wasn't like a crazy tough sale. The mom was cooking nachos, and I got in the kitchen there. She was she's like, yeah, make it quick. I'm listening. I'm making nachos, but we're finna go to the soccer game. So I'm like, yeah, this, that. I think I got them on the box elder beetles.
Oh yeah.
So, man, it was good.
That's a great feeling, eh? It's like, I don't know, it's like catching a fish or something, right? You're just casting all day, and you finally get this big fish. And so, okay, you break the ice on day one then, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then after that, is it just money from there on? You know, you're just clicked, you're like, I'm in the right place, I'm where I want to be, things are going for me, or did you have some crisis of meaning early on?
Man, it was like, well, at that point, because when I came back from the Dominican, I just drove to my house because I had to pack my bags from my other friend's house where I was just renting there. Went back home. I spent probably 20 minutes max saying hi to my family. I grabbed my stuff and I went back to Cardston there. And so I was crashing at David's for a couple nights. Ended up staying at Lethbridge for the remainder of the postseason, or sorry, the preseason there.
Mm-hmm.
But I started to heat up super quick. I had a really good first week, and I don't know exactly what it was. I remember dropping some 3-4 days, 3 days, and I was feeling really good about myself. I definitely when I was in Lethbridge doing preseason, there was a few days right at the start where I was just alone. There was nobody knocking with me. I was just clocking in days and just chilling in the apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Well, obviously after I was done knocking, I was chilling, going there to sleep. But mentally, there was a few days I wasn't completely locked in. I didn't knock every single day preseason.
Mm-hmm.
I had a few things figuring them out, but it was good. It was a good start for the most part.
Yeah, well, I can only imagine the smile on David Burton's face because it's a rare thing when you get a rookie who just gets so obsessed with it and then unsupervised almost, right? Just going out there, selling, coming home, and putting up good numbers too, right? So he must have known early on we had something special in you.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Butter me up, dog.
Yeah.
What do you say?
Okay, so I do want to ask, so you said you spent a lot of time listening to these podcasts and trying to pull as much knowledge as you could from different sales trainers. And so now that we're, just past the halfway point in the summer, have you decided what your specific sales style is? And maybe if you can take us through kind of what that is or what influences have mixed together to create how you approach sales.
Yeah, man, it's honestly pretty chill. Pretty relaxed. At the end of the day, I hate wasting time more than anything. So I'll try to qualify as early as I can. Just some basic stuff. I'll usually ask hey man, I'm assuming you're the king of the castle here. Just that corny stuff.
Yeah.
Make sure they're the homeowner. And it's just the basic pitch. One thing actually, I actually got kind of shocked when I went from Southern Alberta to Toronto. And I don't know, I should have expected it because I served my mission here. I know how the people are, but especially starting out in the city, first few days, first week, I was getting claps. I don't think I was doing more than 1 day or 2 days. And I was just everybody was just slamming the door on me. Nobody was even letting me get my pitch out.
Mm-hmm.
And because everybody was moving faster, I sped it up. And I think I felt eventually that just brought up a lot more sales resistance. There was a big barrier.
Yeah.
But I figured out if you just slow down, if you're just selective with your words, you don't need to spit out a lot, but keep it simple. Be chill, get it out slow, and people relax, and you can still sell them.
Interesting. So you felt like you had a more long-winded approach at the start, and then once you came here, people wouldn't give you the time, so you sped it up, and then instead of speeding it up, you think the better approach is keep it slow, but be more boil down what you're going to say and be more concise with it.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Absolutely. Back in Southern Alberta, I could just riz on the doors. Everybody. Just riz. Especially the old ladies. They love me. They still love me out here. But people way more laid back there. Here, people are just tripping out of their mind, but you can still control the conversation and you can go slow on the door.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Yeah. That's an interesting approach because it's always tempting to just try to get as much information out as you can as quickly as possible. But just to take it slow requires a little bit more confidence and belief in the process.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Yeah. So what are the big sales trainers that really influenced you?
Jeez, man. I've taken a bit from everybody. Obviously, like I said, I did did a little bit of role playing with David Burton preseason.
Mm-hmm.
It's the guy that taught me how to pitch. Beat me up a little bit on the first few times when I was complete beginner on basic like head nods and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I realized right away that stuff's important.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I watched as many videos. I watched the Tyler Wyman trainings.
Yeah.
Probably everything you could find on Vantage Pulse.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely everything. I've watched everything a few times.
Yeah. And how long would you say your average presentation is when you're going to close a sale? Like, are you a 5-minute guy, I'm quick, I'm in and out, or is it like I'm spending a half hour, 45 with these people?
I'm definitely not doing half hour, 45. Yeah, I definitely don't do that. There's the odd cases. Like I've had like maybe like a couple people where I spent like an hour just because like they were showing buying signs and I was just going deep. Like,
Yeah.
And I have closed a few like that, but for the most part, I want to say like 10 minutes. I don't know, like 10 minutes, 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm. To the point.
Some couple guys in Toronto just crazy, just like chop. I've closed like a deal in like less than 30 seconds.
Yeah. It's
Like,
crazy how quick they are. They're like, let's move, let's get this going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I want to say probably 5-10 minutes-ish sounds about right.
Yeah. Yeah. And okay, so this is a little bit more esoteric question, but where do you find joy out on the doors? Like, when you get some days where you're just getting like
Yeah,
just kicked in the teeth the whole day, and there's usually something that you just, I don't know. Some people just look out at the forest, something like that. Or they sit down on a park bench. I used to talk to people just to shoot the breeze and just be like, hey, what do you do for a living? What do you do to find joy and maybe recharge your batteries?
Man, I don't know. That's hard for me. I've actually been thinking about that a lot, like the past couple weeks, because I talked about how it's always been my personality. If I'm not doing some relentless grinding, just if I'm not just dialed in and just put in the work in nonstop, like I get in my own head and I just start tripping out.
Yeah.
Like I'll get a lot of anxiety every second. If I'm just sitting down, like the worst thing for me is just long car drives.
Yeah.
Or just sitting down. Like anybody that lives with me, just see me like sitting there, just like thinking, just tripping. And so I'm always stressed out, just thinking like how I could be doing something productive. And I think that's a good thing because I have a sense of urgency. I always want to be working, but
Yeah.
I think what has helped for me is just trying to like take a deep breath, and because there's always been probably the toughest days have been just when I'm getting destroyed on the doors and I see someone else producing. Just thinking of like, oh, maybe I'm in the wrong market, or maybe I'm in bad hood. It's so many negative thoughts. I just think you have to take a deep breath and you have to realize the good things going on and just be grateful.
Yeah. Yeah. So a little bit of gratitude, pause for a couple seconds and think about that versus I'm going to go and sit in my car and, chill for a while. Yeah.
Yeah. I listened to a Cody Olive and Drew Hansen podcast. And one of the biggest things I just took away from it is that they were saying that like all the top guys, their perspective and their optimism is just dialed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they could be getting destroyed for the first 8 hours of the day, and then they're going to have that self-belief we were talking about.
Yeah.
They could sling like 5 or 10 deals at the end of the day in the last few hours, and they'll keep going and they'll do so.
Yeah. And where do you think that confidence comes from for you specifically? Because I know some sales reps, so Quinn Pauls, for example, he always says it's just a numbers game. And if I'm going through a dry spell, that's just the way the numbers come out. And, there'll be some reversion to the mean, right? We'll go back to the average of I knock this many doors, I'll get this many sales because I know how good of a salesperson I am. Does that belief come from something else for you, or how does that manifest itself?
Man, there's a few things I think. For one, I'm at the point where I'm fairly confident in my sales ability, and I just know that if you just put me in a select number of decision makers, I will produce sales. Like all the competition days, that's what it's been. The decision makers have been home, if you just put me in front of them, I know I'll produce regardless, right?
Yeah.
Regardless of the income level as well. I found that out too. Another piece of that self-belief was the question.
Yeah.
Besides just the actual numbers and that, and just seeing the results. Well, I think it's more of like a pressure thing, of like I have to do this, that compels me to work, just because of, in my mind, I frame it like this: I'm only going to be a rookie once.
Mm-hmm.
I need to absolutely make the best of it, like everything I can. Just back to like, oh, no Canadians ever Golden Door, no rookies ever done that. Like, why would I not go for everything if I'm out here? Absolutely everything.
Yeah.
And then I think, I don't know if you were going to ask me, but I'm back to like, if I'm sharing my goal with people, and I have shared my goals with a lot of people,
Mm-hmm.
like the more pressure that I feel, the more I vocalize it. It just like, for me, it makes me feel like, okay, now I actually have to do it.
Yeah. No backing down now.
No backing down. You gotta be all in. You can't be lukewarm with anything.
Yeah. So in the spirit of being red hot instead of being lukewarm, what's your goal?
Honestly, man, I'll Golden Door or die out here knocking. Like, I know it's never been done. It's literally the 4-minute mile. That's the first thing that David told me when we were on the call, man. I'm like, man, you have me tripping. Once you said that, man, I'm actually trying to Golden Door now.
Yeah.
And he told me like, hey, people say they try to Golden Door, but you don't try, you just do it.
Yeah.
And so like especially just when you're looking at where you're pacing to go, I need to speed up. I need to ramp.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to knock longer than the regular season. I think that's just a given at this point. But I'm committed to going out there and making it happen with whatever it takes, man.
Well, you certainly exude the belief, but also the obsessed mind, right? Like you're saying, just consuming all this content before the season starts, messaging all the Golden Door winners, right? Like the obsession is definitely so important there, of just like living the life of that Golden Door salesperson, right? So that's wonderful, yeah. And so what are your goals then long term in the future then? So let's say you get to that Golden Door this year. You're probably going to run it back for round 2, I would imagine. But do you have any longer term things, like is sales? Is this job a stepping stone onto some sales career in the future you want to do? Or
yeah, that's a really good question. So, oh man, I don't even know. I saw this quote on Instagram. I don't know if it was like Marcus Aurelius or something.
Mm-hmm.
Some philosophical stuff, and he was saying something along the lines of someone who basically works relentlessly or grinds their whole life without a bigger purpose is wasting their time.
Mm-hmm.
And so definitely I intend to make a ton of money this summer. Milk it for whatever it is, to make a splash, to make the impact. I know when I do something that no one has done, that it just at least put my name out there and open other doors, maybe to network with other people, to do other bigger things.
Yeah.
But at my very core, just back to my mission, the most important thing to me is like I'm a very what's the word for it? Like God-fearing guy.
Mm-hmm.
God's probably at the center of everything that I do. Not even probably, definitely. There's a scripture I love. I'll semi-quote paraphrase it. I don't know if I have it dialed, but it says, "The keeper of the gate is the Holy One of Israel, and he employeth no servant there." And so it's talking about Jesus Christ. And I don't know if I think David Goggins has said something similar to this, about talking about the day that he dies, and he has to like be accountable to God or face him. And he says, "Oh, this is David Goggins did this. And he's like, "Oh, I'm not that guy." But I really love Jesus Christ, and I feel very indebted to him. And with the limited time that I have on this earth, my time is really sacred to me.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely a springboard. I think money at an early age just has that much more utility.
Yeah.
I just got fresh off my mission. I haven't made any money the past 2 years, right? Not even in a selfish way. I need to make money. I need to make it happen just so that I could bless my family. I could impact those around me. I could be a provider for a family of my own. It'll open doors for me to be able to serve in my church, to be able to whatever, if I want to scale a business.
Yeah.
I don't have any like narrow specifics right now, but I know I need to hit it out the park so I can build on that.
Yeah. Well, I love that. You're not going to hide. You're not going to be able to lie or fib your way out of it. You have to meet your maker and face him, and he knows everything that you've done in your trials and tribulations and all that. And can you live up to the grand purpose that's been laid out before you? So
Yeah,
that's
man.
excellent. Yeah, that's quite the motivator. I love that. And so we're coming to the end of our pod here, right? So now, as we try to impart some advice onto the rookies and experienced managers and all that, do you have any nuggets of wisdom for us that you think would be helpful to rookies, managers alike, just people out there knocking doors?
Probably just not being lukewarm about it. If you're going to be out here and you're going to be given your time and you leave whatever else that is back home or wherever you came from, just use every second that you have out here. There's always going to be like forces tearing away your attention and to do other things, but especially like if you're going to be out here, just maximize it. You know, a lot of times as well, I found that when I overthink things or my brain is just cooking when I'm doing those long car rides, I think most of the time it's a lot simpler than you make it out to be.
Mm-hmm.
I would just say, like, I don't know if for people that think like me or whether you do or you don't and your brain is scrambling, I'm sure everybody's that's done door to door has dealt with some level of anxiety.
Of course.
I think it's really good to just maybe just write out your thoughts, collect them there and have them sitting in front of you. And then just to go and tackle a simple objective and to not overcomplicate things.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you guys heard it here first. Go out there, execute. Don't be lukewarm about it. Be red hot. Know your goals, write them down, organize your thoughts, and be the person you're destined to be. I love it. Well, thank you for taking the time, Jacob. Really appreciate you coming out here to join us on the pod. And best of luck in your season. We'll watch closely as you inch toward that golden door. So best of luck to you.
Thanks, brother.
Cheers.